Hello, my name is Achille Forler. By profession, I am a copyright administrator, and I've been doing this for the last almost 30 years. So what is copyright as far as music is concerned? It all starts with the song, because no song, there is no music industry. So you have a composer who composes a tune. Eventually you have a lyricist who puts lyrics on it. There may be one lyricist, several, one composer, or several composers. You create a copyright from the moment you express your thoughts, either as a composer or as a lyricist, that is, you pen them down. As a composer, you record it. That is when the copyright starts. To have an idea about a theme, about a subject, you can't copyright it, because copyright protects the expression, the individual expression. So, who owns that copyright? Who owns the copyright of a tune? Who owns the copyright of a book? It's the writer, those who create it. So when you write lyrics, when you associate them with a composition, you have a song. That song belongs to the people who have contributed to the creation of that song, as far as lyrics are concerned, as far as composition is concerned. You don't have to register that song to own the copyright, because the very fact, and that is the beauty of the copyright system, the very fact that you can prove that you created it, it's enough for you to be the owner. There is no other object in the world where you can claim to be an owner unless you have registered it. You cannot say this car belongs to me unless you have registered it with the authority. You cannot say this flat belongs to me unless you have to register it with the proper authority. But when we come to intellectual property, especially to copyright, the very fact that you put pen to paper and you can prove that I am the one who have done this, your copyright is protected all over the world. One. Now two, what do you do with that song? Well, that song needs performers. It has to be recorded in a studio. Maybe a singer is required. So the person who pays for these productions, who pays the singer, who pays the studio musicians, who pays the studio, he's called the producer. So the producer, he owns that recording. He does not own the song which belongs to you, lyricist and composer. He owns that sound recording. What you own, which is the copyright, is what we call the underlying rights in that recording. So the copyright is always, if you look at a CD, you will see a small c in a circle. That is your right. The P in a small circle, that is the sound recording right, which belongs to the producer. So from the start, we have two owners. We have lyricist and composer, and we have the producer. These are two separate rights. Abroad, in most countries, songwriters are they sign to a publisher who will give them their compositions. The publisher will try to find singers, record labels who are interested and who take the songs and record them. So the music publisher is a separate profession globally, except for various reasons. It has not happened in India. Now these rights, your copyright, the producer's right, the sound recording right, this song is going to be exploited in radios, streaming services, some live performances. People may sing your songs. Other people will sing your songs. Some will make cover versions, upload them on YouTube without asking you. Now, what is happening? How are you going to be paid? This is a very critical question. Usually singers, those who compose, the musicians who compose, who also perform, they will get money from the show today. But what about the lyricist? He doesn't perform. He has no other income. So he is entirely dependent on the royalties. And they have composers who are not performers. So they too are totally dependent on royalties. So copyrights, they are the salary and the pension plan of the lyricist and of the composer. Because your song, famous songs, they will be performed after 50 years, even after you are dead. They will continue to be performed. So duration of copyright is your lifetime plus 60 years after your death. If there are several people involved in a song, the copyright will be the last one who dies plus 60 years. That's a very long period of time. And when Noshad Saab, for example, composed a song in 1948 for a film and got, as he told me, 50 rupees at that time, which used to be a big sum, he never imagined that these songs are still going to be played every day on radios. But there is a time where lyricists or composers stop to work or may run out of inspiration. We know there are so many examples, people who have made a one hit, and after that, the rest of their life, they continue to create, but the music didn't stick. But that one hit, for composers who live in a copyright system that works, that one hit is enough to live. I know composers who, for example, the song My Way, or a composition which went out of copyright just 2 years ago, the Bolero of Ravel. The Bolero of Ravel in the last year under copyright was earning 7 million euros a year. Every 15 minutes, somewhere in the world, the Bolero of Ravel is performed live. And Ravel is dead since long time. But his children and grandchildren continue to enjoy the copyrights. So, in short, when you create a piece of music, when you create lyrics, you are creating a property. It's an investment. And the copyright system, when it is applied properly, enables you, your children and your grandchildren to benefit from the exploitation, from the success of what you are creating. That is why in 2012, when the parliament in fact, amended the Copyright Act, they introduced this clause that whatever may have been your agreement in the past, 50% of all the income for your rights, that is the publishing right, not the sound recording right, which doesn't belong to you, but all the income from the lyrics and the composition, 50% has to be paid to those who created them. So the copyright system, in a way, is the fairest system of remuneration that exists. If what you create, the music you create, gets only this much in return, you will get a fraction of it. But if the return is this much, you will get this much. The other system which was prevalent and is still prevalent, which I call the casino economy, is that give me your song, I give you 1 lakh. But if the song that you sold for 1 lakh makes 10 crores, the next time the producer comes to you, you will say, no, I want 1 crore. You sell the new song for 1 crore, maybe that song is going to fail, so he is going to lose the money. So this is a casino economy. It's a gambling economy. Everyone is gambling. While the copyright system is the fairest system, is you will get in proportion to the revenue your creation is generating. That is why in 2012, the parliament unanimously has given a clear direction to the industry, to the music and the film industry, who did not want to reform. saying that henceforth you have to base your system on royalty, and 50% has to be paid to the lyricists and the composers. It is mandatory, whatever may have been or whatever are going to be your agreements.